When you're truly meant to be. These four signs always appear. Have you ever tried to forget someone, but they keep returning to your mind anyway? Not because you're lonely, not because you're bored, but because something deeper won't let them go. When you're truly meant to be with someone, the connection doesn't feel loud. It feels inevitable. You may doubt it. You may fight it. You may even walk away from it. But somehow, it never fully disappears. And this is where it gets interesting. When two people are genuinely meant to share something real, there are quiet psychological patterns that always show up. Not fairy tales, not fantasy, but emotional patterns behavior experts often notice in deeply bonded connections. Let's talk about the four signs that always appear when something is truly meant to be. And as you listen, pay attention to who comes to your mind, because that's not random either. The first sign is this: the bond survives silence. You can go days without talking, weeks, sometimes even months, and yet, when their name appears on your phone, your heart still reacts. Not dramatically, not obsessively, but instantly. Psychology research suggests that emotionally significant bonds activate the same neural pathways even after physical distance. That's why some people feel familiar again within seconds, no matter how much time passed. Here's the twist. If a connection only survives constant communication, it wasn't deep. It was dependency. But when something is real, silence doesn't erase it. It simply tests it. And you feel that invisible thread, don't you? Even when you try to convince yourself it's over. And that thread is emotional imprinting. And not everyone leaves one. The second sign is harder to accept. They trigger your growth. When you're meant to be with someone, they don't just comfort you. They confront you. They expose your insecurities. They activate your attachment patterns. They challenge the parts of you that still need healing. And this is where most people misunderstand meant to be. They think it means easy. But real alignment doesn't come to entertain you. It comes to evolve you. Studies in attachment psychology show that the relationships that push us into self-awareness are often the ones that shape us most deeply. Not because they are perfect, but because they force transformation. Here's the truth most people miss. If someone makes you more emotionally aware, more honest with yourself, and more conscious of your patterns, that connection is not random. Even if it hurts sometimes, especially if it hurts sometimes. Because growth and discomfort often travel together. And you feel different after them, don't you? More awake, more aware, more changed. That's not coincidence. That's impact. The third sign is something almost mystical, but deeply psychological. You understand each other without words. You sense when something is off. You think about them right before they message. You feel their emotional shift even when they say, "I'm fine." This is called emotional attunement. Behavior experts often notice that strong emotional bonds create synchronization patterns, similar rhythms in thought and reaction. And this is where it gets interesting. When something good happens in your life, who is the first person your mind runs to? Not because you choose it, but automatically. Your nervous system selects them. That automatic emotional selection is powerful. You don't intellectually decide who feels like home. Your body decides. And when someone consistently feels like your emotional first thought, that's not shallow attraction. That's imprinting. The fourth sign is the most undeniable. Life keeps bringing you back together. You try to move forward. You create distance. You tell yourself, it's done. And then, something happens. A random encounter. An unexpected message. A coincidence that feels too aligned. But most people miss the deeper meaning here. Being meant to be doesn't mean immediate togetherness. Timing matters. Growth matters. Emotional readiness matters. And psychology shows that sometimes separation strengthens emotional clarity. It allows both people to evolve independently before reuniting more consciously. Here's the twist. If every time you separate, the emotional door never fully closes, that connection still has unfinished emotional energy. And unfinished emotional energy doesn't disappear. It waits. Not forever, but long enough to see if both people are ready. Now pause for a second. Think about the person who has been on your mind this entire time. The one you tried to rationalize away. The one who still feels unfinished. You're not crazy. Some connections are situational. Some are convenient. Some are temporary. But some change you. And when a connection changes you, survives silence, triggers growth, creates wordless understanding, and keeps reappearing in your life. That's not random attraction. That's emotional alignment. But here's the final realization. Being meant to be doesn't remove free will. It doesn't guarantee outcome. It simply means the potential is real. The rest depends on timing, maturity, and courage. So if this resonates with you, don't rush it, don't force it, and don't chase it. Focus on becoming emotionally ready for the kind of connection you want. Because when two people are truly aligned, they don't need to chase. They don't need to prove. They don't need to force. They simply find their way back when they're both ready. If this felt personal, that's because it probably is. Comment alignment if this reminded you of someone, and subscribe if you want more psychology that explains the quiet things no one says out loud.